The following program may contain mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is the 2020 Polaris Music Prize. From the Caribou in Toronto, here is your host, Saroja Coelho.
Welcome to the 2020 Polaris Music Prize celebration presented by CBC Music. I'm your host, Saroja Coelho. We are back at the spectacular Caribou in Toronto to celebrate the 10 albums on this year's shortlist. 2020 may look very different than in past years, but we still wanted to celebrate in style. And normally, this is where we would kick things off with a live performance from an electrifying nominee, guaranteed to get you on your feet. Unfortunately, I'm the only one on stage tonight, and wouldn't you know it, I broke a guitar string, so live music is out. However, we have something just as special. This year, Polaris has commissioned 10 short films to honor each of the nominated albums. 10 visual artists have created 10 absolutely stunning films inspired by the music of our shortlist. And they'll make you laugh, they'll make you cry, and they might even get you up on your feet dancing. One thing that remains the same this year is at the end of the night, with the help of last year's winner, Havaya Mighty, we will be awarding the 2020 Polaris Music Prize live to the Canadian album of the highest artistic merit. That distinction also comes with a $50,000 check, and the grand jury has been meeting all day virtually to decide on that winning album. We'll begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and most recently the territory of the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation. The territory was subject to the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy and the Ojibwe and allied nation to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. This territory is also covered by the Upper Canada Treaties. Today, the meeting place of Toronto, from the Haudenosaunee word Keronto, is still home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. On this very site, while excavating for this building, workers found mastodon bones from 11,000 BC, which were hunted by the Clovis people. We honor the lives and the communities that precede us, and we are grateful to hold this event on this territory. Thank you. And now, here are the 10 albums vying for Canadian Album of the Year.
God Has Nothing to Do with It, Leave Him Out of It by Backxwash. Suddenly by Caribou. Before Love Came to Kill Us by Jessie Reyez. Studio Monk by Junia-T. Baba by Kaytranada. Miss Columbia by Lido Pimienta. Nêhiyawak by Nêhiyawak. Pantayo by Pantayo. Heavy Light by U.S. Girls. DNA Activation by Witch Prophet.
Let us know your favorite shortlisted moments using the hashtag Polaris2020 and head to cbcmusic.ca/Polaris for all things Polaris, including past performances, winner moments, and all of this year's Polaris coverage. Now, without further ado, we'd like to introduce you to one of our most electrifying nominees, guaranteed to get you on your feet. This is Kaytranada.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Baba by Kaytranada. Louis Kevin Celestin is Kaytranada. Kaytranada started producing and DJing in his mid-teens, making a name for himself through SoundCloud remixes. His unofficial 2012 remix of Janet Jackson's If went viral and soon had him touring around the world. After releasing his critically acclaimed first album, Kaytranada would go on to work with Kendrick Lamar, Alicia Keys, Chance the Rapper, and Madonna. Kaytranada is no stranger to the Polaris Music Prize. The Haitian-born Montreal-based producer won in 2016 for his debut album, 99.9%.
It's an honor, man. I don't know what to say. It's crazy.
He surprised fans in December 2019 by dropping Baba, a perfectly timed follow-up album for those end-of-year parties. It quickly rose to the top of Billboard's dance electronic chart. The highly collaborative album has an addictive, sweaty dance groove and features performances from Pharrell Williams, Tinashe, and Charlotte Day Wilson. Why does Kaytranada deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Kelsey Adams says, with Baba, Kaytranada has captured the exact feeling of being in a sweaty club, dancing with no abandon, while the blistery bite of Canadian winter rages outside.
Representing Kaytranada, here is a short film inspired by the album Baba.
Polaris presents Vex O by Scott McPherson. Scott is the creative director of Wove Collective, specializing in show visuals, art installations, music videos, and album art. His Baba-inspired project is a modern affair disguised as a fashion film. The dreamlike sets are real locations, like the Chateau de Rambouillet in northern France, interpreted through a surrealist lens. Here is Vex O.
In her eyes, found something I like, yeah. Weren't even my type. In a lie. We had drinks all night. Put my phone on silent, and I don't know why. No, I couldn't leave her. Should've said bye, Felicia. Must have been the tequila. I wish you had amnesia. Come, what I did can't be undone. Kiss and chase, baby, run. Don't give my love to no one.
Bad belly where she get. You go try, she not forget. No forgiveness. So to the left. Wanna take a real life recess. She said I don't no effect. And I say no vexo. No vexo. My baby don't vex so. My baby don't vex so. And I say no vex so. Don't vex so. My baby don't vex so. Don't vex so.
I just wanna get behind you on the dance floor. Then I take it back to the back of the dance club. Handsome, always call me handsome. Then I hand rub, throw tantrums. If you leave me, that's it. Lord, no lie. When I ride on the beat, I just try to supply, gonna be good. Think you don't even care, but I'm endo. Rep good, but I think I'm an asshole. Fuck me good, then I fuck so long that the moon and the sun superposition is sick, oh. And I roll it over, I call it a pick roll. I'm on top, I don't mind if we switch roles. Next morning when we leave, you can switch clothes. Pissed off, you ain't get my number when I hit though. Real nice with the words, but I mean with a nice stroke. And I kinda bite though, I ho.
Bad belly where she get. You go try, she not forget. No forgiveness. So to the left. Wanna take a real life recess. She said I don't no effect. And I say no vexo. No vexo. My baby don't vexo. My baby don't vexo. And I say no vexo. No vexo. My baby don't vexo. Don't vexo.
What an absolutely stunning piece of work. This is the 15th year of the Polaris Music Prize, and man, time flies. It feels like just yesterday, Patrick Watson was climbing over the tables at the Masonic Temple. Past Polaris winners include some of the most prominent names in Canadian music: Arcade Fire, Feist, Buffy Sainte-Marie, and tonight, one of our 10 shortlisted artists will join their ranks. We'll get to ask them how that feels when we interview them right after the winner is announced, live at the end of the show. Our next nominees call themselves 21st Century Gong Punks. This is Pantayo.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Pantayo by Pantayo. Pantayo is an all-women queer Filipinx crew based in Toronto. They skillfully mix traditional Kulintang music with pop influences to create a modern body of work. While the band's debut album came out this year, Pantayo's origin story dates back to 2012, when the founding members met at a Philippine Arts and Community Center in Toronto. Together, they started workshopping Kulintang, a musical tradition played on sets of gongs from the southern Philippines and parts of Southeast Asia. They've created what they proudly call a supergirl gong group. Their self-titled debut album is a mix of what members call lo-fi R&B gong punk. It expertly layers Kulintang with synths, harmonies, pop melodies, and both Tagalog and English lyrics for a fresh sound that feels energized. Why does Pantayo deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Jill Krayeski submits, Pantayo have a captivating, unique approach to combining hypnotic percussion and layered vocals that shift from airy pop to fiery chants. At times, it even has the intensity of post-punk. It's a surprising and rewarding record.
Since this nomination happened, a lot of things that popped up from like folks across the pond in Europe, inquiries for festivals, interviews, like artist profiles, which is great because part of our mandate as a band is also just making more people aware of Kulintang music.
It's such an incredible feeling to be able to showcase our work in a way that is seen and heard by critics and some peers as well, because this is our first attempt as a band to kind of express ourselves, and the way that we set up our sound is very much connected to our identity, so it's very personal. So the fact that a lot of people are able to see what we're trying to do with the project was really, really cool to experience.
Polaris presents Hawag Mataranta by Trisha Hagarilis. In 2015, Trisha received the RBC Emerging Canadian Artist Award at the Inside Out Toronto LGBTQ Film Festival. Led by an all-Philippine creative team, Hawag Mataranta is a mix of cyberpunk and folklore, telling a story of sisterhood and resistance. Keep an eye out for the producer of Pantayo's album, Alaska Bee, of Yamantaka Sonic Titan. Here is Hawag Mataranta.
Hi. You got it. Let's go. They're waiting for you. Nahanap ko na si Vivi. Yan na pala siya. Halika na.
Teka.
Kasama ba natin to?
Sige na nga.
Not here for the lights, baby. Represent for my sisters, yeah. Gonna take up all this space, hey. Don't take a kindness for weakness, yeah. All these basic witches, yeah. 'Cause we sure will be the witness. Be real. 'Cause we smell all the liars here.
Palit tayo?
No, thank you.
Yun ba yun? Galing mo, ah. Nahirapan ka siguro. Para sa'yo talaga to.
This was obviously meant for you. Have you eaten?
Yeah, kain. Mahaba pa ang laban.
Eat up. You'll have to build your strength. You have a big fight ahead of you.
We're not world star 'cause we are world class. Sisters gonna come from the system with a feet.
I want whatever light force was in that box. That was amazing. Welcome back to the 15th Polaris Music Prize. For those of you who may have missed the previous 14 shows, here's how it works. The Polaris jury includes more than 200 music journalists, bloggers, and broadcasters from across the country. They select the 40 albums that made the long list in July. Then they whittled that down to our list of 10 albums for the short list, and tonight, a grand jury will vote the list down again to 5, then to 3, and then our winner. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. The winner will receive $50,000. Each of the 9 runners-up will receive $3,000, courtesy of Slate Music. Now let me take you back in time. 2 years ago, Jeremy Dutcher won the Polaris Prize and stood right here, looked out, and said, "You are in the midst of an Indigenous renaissance." Are you ready to hear the truths that need to be told? Our next artists give you a chance to hear their truth. This is Nêhiyawak.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Nêhiyawak by Nêhiyawak. Nêhiyawak comes from Amiskawitchi, also known as Edmonton, on Treaty 6 territory. Bandmates Chris Harper, Merritt Taylor, and Matthew Cardinal all come from a Plains Cree background and have spent significant time on the Canadian indie rock circuit. As Nêhiyawak, they skillfully merge traditional storytelling with modern sounds for a genre they've dubbed moccasin gaze. Nêhiyawak is Nêhiyawak's debut full-length album, which the band says is heavily inspired by the Idle No More movement. The title is Cree for water, bookending the album with songs dedicated to the North Saskatchewan River. This is Nêhiyawak's first time on the Polaris Music Prize short list, and the band was nominated for the 2020 Indigenous Artist of the Year Juno Award. Why does Nêhiyawak deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Dustin McGladrey submits, "This is a full shoegaze throwback with contemporary Indigenous content, literary genius, and swelling sonic melodies. Their compositions feel like you're floating down a peaceful waterway."
I feel massively honored that 200 journalists that have to do with art would think to look at our album. There's so much being created in this country we call Canada, and within it are so many beautiful, incredible points to find. And I'm so honored and happy that you found us. two of my personal favorites are Witch Prophet and Backxwash. But I mean, obviously, I have a really strong love for Lido and many of the voices on there today. It's an honor to have our name alongside of all of that list. And yo, give me a call. Like, let's do a collab for sure. It's tough when you're not in Toronto. You know, we can always Zoom.
Polaris presents Nêhiyawak by Connor McNally. One of the first things Nêhiyawak ever recorded as a group was the score for McNally's film, O Tanao. Since then, Connor has produced several videos for the band, all incorporating the North Saskatchewan River. Nêhiyawak features an interview with Ruben Quinn, an instructor of the Nêhiyaw language for over 16 years. Here is Nêhiyawak.
Goma, Saskatchewan sipik, ote ot simagak, asniwatik. Egote, ebe, bimitsuako manepi, misagame, ote mamik, atipugo, awas tenete, kichigame gewakte, itagote magakuma, nipi. Ego, michet, ota. Waku magan noge mamsito take gumanepi. Atame pegnete kinosewak pisiskisak egunek mamsito take. Waskitsota egote mina piesisak nanatu kigwe. Sisipak niskak magwak. Michete mamsito take ewa kiano. Ai sinog mamsito ma mina uma nipi kispinegagi goi nipi namagi goi pimatesun manitoa poyoma igimigusiak eopigimaga kahkiogi goi osamo tinipi matiga kanaga tehta makpugo kues nipi Ute niak ote. Egates kwagape nugistik, oskaisino guisto alma, kapatageitakik, ute niak.
Tying us all together with the flow of music and water. That was so beautiful. We are getting closer and closer to tonight's big live reveal, which will be followed by an in-depth interview with tonight's winner. And that interview, as well as all of tonight's films and much, much more, will be available at cbcmusic.ca/Polaris. Well, I know I cannot wait, so let's get straight to our next nominee. He's one of the most connected artists in Toronto hip-hop. Here's Junia-T.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Studio Monk by Junia-T.
Ain't no place like home, ain't no feeling like love.
One half of the Toronto rap duo Smash Brothers, Junia-T turned heads with his solo album, I See You, in 2014. The critical darling featured 2 appearances from a young remix project student, Jessie Reyez. It was the beginning of a long collaboration. When Figures made Reyez a household name, she tapped Junia-T as her tour DJ.
Let's not even think about it. You don't even know you still do.
With I See You a few years behind him, Junia-T was about ready to walk away from music when a collab session run by another remix project graduate, Addy Papa, reinvigorated him and set him on the path to recording Studio Monk. Packed with guest features, Studio Monk is 13 tracks, whittled down from an astounding 200-plus recordings that Junia-T made for the album. The result is a collection of songs that are near perfection. The album dropped in January, but it's not uncommon to hear it already referred to as a classic. Why does Junia-T deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, A. Harmony says, I appreciate Junia-T's ability to unite so many artists on one album, capture their unique sounds, yet still maintain a cohesive feeling throughout. He pulls the best out of not only himself, but his collaborators too.
This album's about community, and I'm really hoping people get that feeling from this record, and also get to hear different corners of Toronto that they may not be familiar with. Started out as an MC, then became a beat maker, and then I feel like with Studio Monk I've really set into being a producer, and that's what a real producer does, is being able to create energy from everybody in the room, and it's beautiful to see that we were able to do that, bring a bunch of people together and make something that was special, you know? And the fact that it was resonated and like understood to be something of that quality makes me feel like we did our job well, you know what I mean?
Polaris presents The Monk by Yassine Narsi Al Salman. Yassine is a musician, director, and winner of the 2017 Video of the Year at the Much Music Video Awards. The Monk is his meditation on a world after police abolishment, where the rhythm of progress is not always a steady beat. Here is The Monk.
This is your Saturn returning Pisces. Are you listening? Changes.
Ain't no place like home, ain't no feeling like love, ain't no team like mine, ain't no niggas like us, and ain't nobody but you know anything about us. Baby, let it do what it does, and let them all do what they does.
What is wrong with you, bro? You're not even gonna take off your glasses? Looking like a bootleg blade or something? Like, I really don't get you. Where's your trench coat at? Hey, yo, Musa. Be safe, bro. Love you.
Going crazy in my mind, but I know better. Anything in my life got so better. I ain't never falling off, y'all know better. Real niggas never take a loss, y'all know better.
Can I help you? Yeah. Look, need a fucking register.
I used to protect the neighborhood from guys like you.
Yo, he can't talk, man.
Hey, you get up. Shut up. I didn't ask you to talk. Put the money in the bag. Why are you here? Oh, shit. No.
It's DS. We're here to help. No weapons.
I'm the police, not you. I'll shoot him. I swear I'll shoot him. You ain't shit!
We're here for you!
I'll shoot him! I swear I'll shoot him!
Don't do it! Musa!
You okay? He shot himself. You're gonna be fine.
That's not it.
We are the De-Escalation Squad. We are here. We are now.
Join us. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. We need you.
What a powerful statement. Okay, here is some fun Polaris trivia. This year's shortlist features 3 past winners, Caribou, Lido Pimienta, and Kaytranada. There has never been a 2-time Polaris winner. Perhaps this could be the year. Let us know who you think is going to win using the hashtag Polaris2020. Our next nominee is taking you on her search for home. Here is Lido Pimienta.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Miss Colombia by Lido Pimienta. Born in Colombia, Lido Pimienta is a musician and visual artist based in Toronto. Her debut album, Color, dropped in 2010, followed by her sophomore effort, La Papesa, in 2016. When La Papesa came out, Lido was already deep into her third album, Miss Colombia. She had traveled to Chile to work on the album. Then, La Papesa won the Polaris Prize.
Lido Pimienta, La Papesa!
Lido put Miss Colombia on hold to tour La Papesa, eventually finishing the album between Toronto and Colombia. Named after Steve Harvey's Miss Universe gaffe, Miss Colombia is a critical examination of Lido's complex feelings towards the country in which she was born. The album draws from a deep well of traditional instruments and rhythms, but is filtered through her singular artistic sensibility and experience. Why does Lido Pimienta deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Max Moenhue submits that Lido's able to infuse diverse production into this beautiful Colombian sound. A mother, a creator, a badass, Pimienta continues to push boundaries.
Miss Colombia is about self-validation. anything that I do, it comes with a hyphen. That's really annoying to never feel like you belong. So Miss Colombia has two sides, and the first side, it's trying to find that place. I'm trying to find this place where I can call my own, where I can feel like myself, where I can be okay. And then on the other side, it's, oh, I'm getting there.
Polaris presents Miss Colombia, The Road Home by Andres Landau and Lido Pimienta. Andreas and Lido also teamed up this summer to produce a live projection concert for Sappy Fest. Miss Colombia, The Road Home combines a quinceañera party-themed live performance with documentary footage shot while Lido recorded her album in Colombia in 2018 and 19. The result is a portrait of pride, creativity, and hope. Here is Miss Colombia, The Road Home.
My album Miss Colombia is a cynical love letter to my country, but it's a love letter nonetheless. It's about the disconnect that immigrants feel, that longing for your country of origin, but the sense that maybe you don't belong there anymore. And at the same time, the feeling that you might not feel completely welcome or embraced by the country you now have to call home. That duality is the driving force behind Miss Colombia, the search to define what home means. Home, for those of us who weren't born here, can be tough to define.
Yo por fin todo lo tenía y a ti todo te lo entregaba. Tú por fin me necesitabas y después no me tuviste en cuenta. Tú por mí nunca trabajabas, me acerqué para ser la primera. Si tú a mí nunca me querías, yo porque tengo que darte velas. Tú por mí nunca trabajabas, me acerqué para ser la primera. Si tú a mí nunca me querías, yo porque tengo que darte velas.
What I learned is that home is whatever you make of it. For me, it's been making a life in Toronto with my partner and our kids, finding a nurturing musical community and a network of supportive friends, mothers, and artists. This is our home.
Yo aquí sembré las semillas y regué las que tú plantabas. Tú sin mí nunca te hallabas, pero hoy me encuentro relajada. Lo que tú.
In the process of making this record, we went back to Colombia. We reconnected with old friends, Secreto Davala, and the dance group Cumbe. It was magical. Miss Colombia's lifeblood are the stories and the struggles of these people, my people, Black and indigenous Colombians from the North Coast.
Yo también miraba, yo adivinaba todo pues bien, también me iba bien, todo lo imaginé.
Writing and recording Miss Colombia has given me the opportunity to find my place, connecting my roots to my present life here. A journey that has helped me to better understand the duality of living between two countries, living two lives, and the opportunity to lift up those who I love the most. It's a call to the sounds I grew up with and a reminder of where home is now. Since the record came out in April, I've been contacted by so many people like me who have had the same struggle trying to navigate that duality between their birth and new country. I can see that we've built bridges with this music. It's been wonderful to hear strangers and people from different generations tell me their own stories. To me, that's the true impact of this record. And I'm still trying to fully embrace that concept of home. But what Miss Colombia has taught me is that it doesn't matter, and that I'm far from being alone.
What a gorgeous portrait of her journey home through music, and I really wouldn't mind having that backing band tonight. In addition to these short films, each shortlisted artist received a one-of-a-kind limited edition print commissioned specifically for each album by Canadian designers and illustrators. And they are totally stunning. You can check them out at polarismusicprize.ca, where a limited few are also available for purchase. Shortlisted 3 times in the past 5 years, our next nominee is a Polaris All-Star. Here is U.S. Girls.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Heavy Light by U.S. Girls. Meg Remy is U.S. Girls. She started in 2007 as a DIY solo project, putting her debut together on a 4-track tape recorder. Today, her most recent album counts more than 20 musical collaborations. Her music has never ticked any one genre box, sliding easily between disco, punk, soul, R&B, and Motown. Remy writes music that leans heavily into themes of patriarchy, capitalism, and life-destroying pollution. U.S. Girls has been shortlisted twice before for the Polaris Music Prize. First in 2016 for her album Half Free, and in 2018 for her follow-up album In a Poem Unlimited. Why does U.S. Girls deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Bruno Coulomb says, the new record feels more personal, tackling alcoholism and childhood trauma, along with more universal topics like economic and gender inequities. It may be U.S. Girls' strongest effort to date.
This was a completely unique record because it's the first one I made only the second one I made in a studio, and the first one where my husband Max wasn't there. So that was I didn't have my safety net, my security blanket. So that felt different, but great. And I was being supported by such an amazing group of people while also supporting them. So I didn't have to think anymore after the first day. It was just really focusing and creating together and drinking too much coffee.
Polaris presents Woodstock 99 by Meg Remy, Nora Sadava, and Colin Medley. Longtime video collaborators Meg and Colin add writer, actor Nora Sadava to the mix for this 16mm film project. Inspired by the work and movement of Blondell Cummings, Woodstock 99 invites you to remember where you were when the infamous music festival went off the rails. Here is Woodstock 99.
Your mother and I got about mine. Slept with yours at the very same time as I, seeking comfort from the bodies we were once inside. True isolated mother and child, where were you in 99? First year of a 4-year daddy time, yeah. You were sleeping through school, but not me. I did all my work just like you should. You watched it all on pay-per-view. Stationary cameras giving you a private view. What does it say about us? Our mothers, their TVs, and our looks. What does it say about us? Our mothers, their TVs, and our looks. What does it say about us? Our mothers, their TVs, and our looks. What does it say about us? Our mothers, their TVs, and our looks. Someone left my cake out in the rain, and I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took so long to make it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Somewhere no one wants to get old. On the 7th floor you look below to the park where you took me on that protest walk. There's really something about MacArthur Park. Now you live somewhere no one wants to get old. On the 7th floor you look down to that park. There's really something about MacArthur Somewhere no one wants to get old. On the 7th floor you look below to the park. You took me on that protest walk. There's really something about the dark. Now you live somewhere no one wants to get old. On the 7th floor you look below to the park. You took me on that protest walk. Something about the dark.
So that's your song. That's your song.
Take the time to remember this moment.
We gotta do this
Take
shit.
the time to remember this moment in your life, because it won't come around again. It's not coming again. Nee, get hem afgaanst. Nee, get my rock with a film on you. Mom said, remember who's not it. Mom said, remember who's not it.
Did you catch that there was another Polaris All-Star pulling her out of the water after she chased all those rainbows? That was Basia Bulat. All of these films will be available right after the show at cbcmusic.ca/Polaris alongside the rest of our Polaris coverage. We are 2/3 of the way through the show, and the live winner reveal is just around the corner. Our next nominee's music reaches across the planet as she connects all the unique dots of her identity in seamless R&B soundscapes. This is Witch Prophet.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, DNA Activation by Witch Prophet.
Where do we go from here?
Ayo Leilani is Witch Prophet. Born in Kenya, her family came to Canada when she was 4. Her music is the intertwining of her family's Ethiopian Eritrean roots with the new ones she's putting down in Toronto's queer community. Leilani has recorded 2 EPs and 2 LPs as Witch Prophet and co-runs the label Heartlake Records, which focuses on supporting women, non-binary, gender non-conforming artists and allies, and social change through music.
Bow down to the queen.
DNA Activation features songs in 3 languages, Amharic, Tigrinya, and English. Leilani's traditional influences fuse seamlessly with DNA's R&B foundation in a formula that feels both timeless and singular. This is Witch Prophet's first Polaris nomination, but you can find her vocals on Shad's 2014 shortlisted album Flying Colors and F'd Up's long-listed Dose Your Dreams. Why does Which Prophet deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Michelle De Silva submits that there's a strong DIY experimental vibe to Which Prophet's jazz and R&B. Her lyrics and vocals are at their strongest and most confident. This album is fearless.
I think if people were just to come across my album without ever knowing who I am, I would hope that they would take pride in my culture away from it. That they would take away that every family is complicated, and even with the anger and the disappointment, there's still love. And so that I hope that my songs reflect that in a way to showcase, like, hey, everybody's family is messed up. You're not alone. But to have this nomination and the recognition really made me be like, wow, all these years working within the music industry in Toronto specifically has made a difference, and I have made an indentation in people's minds, and this album is proof of it. So I was really extremely grateful and happy.
Polaris presents DNA Activation by Which Prophet and Frocaso. This is Leilani and Frocaso's 6th video collaboration together, 7th if you include that Frocaso filmed Leilani's wedding. DNA Activation is an Afro-futurist dream following Which Prophet on a spirit-guided mission to open and strengthen her connection to her ancestors. The film is a family affair starring Which Prophet's mother, sister, and 2 cousins. Here is DNA Activation.
Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we
carry our ancestors with every step and every decision we make.
Where do we go?
They stay with us, guiding our path until we meet again.
Where do we go? Where do we
in the other realm.
Run. Well, the whole world is falling through darkness, and we cannot see the light. We're falling through darkness, and we cannot see. Know who you are.
Abeita Kaytranada, Aboy Musa, Nêhiyawak, Abeita Kaytranada, Memher Musa, Nêhiyawak. Unlock your power. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we
carry our ancestors with every step and every decision we make.
Where do we go?
They stay with us, guiding our path until we meet again.
Where do we go? Where do we
in the other realm.
Carrying her ancestors with her, she is just sensational. We are moments away from learning the winner of the 2020 Polaris Music Prize. But first, let's take a look at the nominees for the other Polaris Music Prize. The Slate Family Heritage Prize honors albums that were released before Polaris started in 2006. Think of it as the Polaris Hall of Fame. There will be two winners crowned, one selected by the Polaris Heritage Jury and the other by you. The ballots have just opened, so you can be like a Heritage Jury member and cast your vote at polarismusicprize.ca. Let's take a look.
The Slate Family Heritage Prize is supported by ReSound. Here are your 2020 Slate Family Heritage Prize nominees: Robert Charlebois and Louise Forestier, Lindbergh; Deborah Cox, One Wish; Beverly Glenn Copeland, Keyboard Fantasies; Great Speckled Bird, Great Speckled Bird; Jean Leloup, Le Dôme; Maestro, Fresh West, Symphony in Effect; Main Source, Breaking Atoms; Jackie Matu, Wishbone; Pagliaro, Pagliaro; Buffy St. Marie, It's My Way; Jackie Shane, Live; Thrush Hermit, Clayton Park. Vote for the winners now at polarismusicprize.ca/heritage-prize.
A big thank you to Slate Music and ReSound for their support. Let's take a moment to acknowledge all the sponsors that make Polaris possible.
Polaris would like to thank the following sponsors for their support: CBC Music, Factor. Polaris acknowledges the financial support of Factor, the Government of Canada, through the Department of Canadian Heritage and of Canada's private radio broadcasters.
Nous reconnaissons l'appui financier de Factor du gouvernement du Canada et des radiodiffuseurs privés du Canada.
Slate Music, Radio Star Maker Fund, SiriusXM, Stingray Music, Lixar IT, Canada Council for the Arts, ReSound, Collective Arts Brewing, Partake Brewing, Downtown Young BIA, Blue Ant Media, and SOCAN.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Brown. Thanks to all the Polaris nominees for your hard work, commitment, and sacrifice for music creation. SOCAN's honored to represent you and will always fight for your rights. From all of us at SOCAN, congratulations and thanks again.
We are so close to our live winner reveal and artist interview, so let's get back to what we came here to do, celebrate our incredible shortlisted artists. Our next nominee is haunting and glorious at the same time. Here's Backxwash.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, God Has Nothing to Do with This, Leave Him Out of It by Backxwash. Ashanti Mutinta is Backxwash. Born in Lusaka, Zambia, Ashanti began making and selling hip-hop beats to neighborhood kids at the age of 13. But a move to British Columbia and a computer science degree interrupted her musical career. 5 years later, Mutinta rediscovered her musical passion at La Cypher Jam Nights in Montreal.
Deuteronomy 22, chapter 5 says, a man shall not wear woman's clothes. I'm reading this with a dress on.
In 2018, Backxwash put out 2 EPs, Freaks and Black Sailor Moon, both to critical praise. It was around their release that Mutinta came out as a trans woman. Ashanti credits the evolution of her work as the therapeutic expression of the stages in her transition. God Has Nothing to Do with This, Leave Him Out of It is the latest chapter in that story.
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Samples from metal legends Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin are instantly recognizable, even after being crushed down into a distorted howl that conjures the anxious excitement of a haunted house. It's an unsettling effect that leaves you craving more. Why does Backxwash deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Max Merton says, this album details Backxwash's often difficult relationships with family and religion growing up in Zambia. It's a collection of fiery, deeply personal stories from a vital voice that needs to be celebrated.
When you're first putting out music, basically, releasing music into the void. You're kind of screaming into the void, and you don't know who's gonna listen. And even the few 3 or 4 that listen, you're very appreciative of that. And for this to take off in such a way was something that I didn't really anticipate. And it's not really the cleanest of records or the most friendliest records, but it's nice to know that there's room for such art to exist in such spaces. More and more, awards like this need to open up their doors to much more diversity, and because there are a lot of talented BIPOC people who are making great art. It's awesome to see how diverse this year's Polaris was.
Polaris presents God Has Nothing to Do with This, Leave Him Out of It by Ashanti Mutinta and Chachi Reva. Ashanti and Chachi are longtime collaborators, with Chachi serving as Backxwash's creative director. Their latest collaboration is an open letter to Ashanti's father, as told through a nightmarish fever dream. Here is God Has Nothing to Do with This, Leave Him Out of It.
Something inside of me. Hard as my bed when I try to leave. Strong as my neck when I try to breathe. Plus in my death as I hide and weep. Lord, forgive me.
Check. It's been a few months, I was waiting to write you back. I apologize to my dad, place him in the spam. The basics of this rage is complacent in where you stand, awakening for the fag and the making of a man. Careful where you stand, I'm taller, I'm even stronger. I lift you up from your feet, don't tell me I didn't warn you. Tell me don't raise my voice, tell me to make it calmer. There's some shit we gotta clear. Is you ready, my little partner? I think you're mad because you lost control. You want me to fall in line on the X and O's. You want me on dotted signs. It's sick, alright, a mind this bitch is all is fine, equipped with all your life. Only thing that I need is some vodka, a little therapy, some weed, maybe surgery, baka, and 2 seraphim. I'm sick and I'm calling the doctor. You better think the type to just leave you alone if you let me be. It's been years since I talked to Granny, and I think it's pretty sick how I lost the family. And the PI's watching in the solo camera. How is my anxiety? I should be off the zone. Chosen one, sad bitch, low with scum. Cold as her, black sheep talk to up. If the situation changed, I would've said the same shit exactly and the same. I know shit has changed a lot with the way that I am, the way that I plan for it to go this way, understand. Feel like you lost a son, but you gained a daughter. You think it's plain and awkward, you think I'm pain and sorrow. You think I broke your heart, I think it's for survival.
Backxwash refuses to be anything but herself. That was so powerful. Folks, I can tell you at this point that the grand jury has selected our winner. Think you know which album has won? You can let us know by using the hashtag Polaris2020, and let's not waste any more time getting to it because I am getting too excited. Our next nominee is one of Canada's biggest breakout stars. Here is Jessie Reyez.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Before Love Came to Kill Us by Jessie Reyez. Jessie Reyez broke out in 2016 with her show-stopping breakup song Figures, which introduced the world to her chilling vocals. She's since earned a Grammy nomination and 3 Juno Awards, including the 2020 trophy for R&B Soul Recording of the Year. Her debut EP, Kiddo, made the 2017 Polaris Long List, and her follow-up, Being Human in Public, earned a spot on the 2019 Polaris Short List. Before Love Came to Kill Us is the Colombian-Canadian's highly anticipated debut full-length album. It perfectly showcases Reyez's ability to craft spitfire verses while being simultaneously fierce and vulnerable. Why does Jessie Reyez deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Howard Druckman submits that daring to be vulnerable in your art is powerful and one of the most enduring things you can do in popular music. Before Love Came to Kill Us does just that. This is a classic album for all time.
Representing Jessie Reyez, here is a short film inspired by her album Before Love Came to Kill Us.
Polaris presents When Love Came to Kill Us by Alicia K. Harris. Fresh off winning Best Live Action Short Drama at the Canadian Screen Awards, Alicia updates the classic story of love on the run with a supernatural twist. For the Reyez superfans, keep an eye out for the Easter egg references to Jessie's lyrics throughout. Here is When Love Came to Kill Us.
happening?
I don't know. I have to pull over.
We don't have time.
It's her.
Nobody gets out alive.
I want to hold you. Like it's June.
Back when you were my best friend.
Under the mask of the moon. Could we dance in the past?
Before love came to kill us.
Before love came to kill us.
Love cost them absolutely everything. I love a love story with a bittersweet end. We are down to our final nominee. This is your last chance to predict our winner using the hashtag Polaris2020. Right after this, we will be live with the 2020 Polaris Music Prize winner reveal and artist interview. The fun doesn't stop there. Head to cbcmusic.ca/Polaris after the show for more coverage of tonight, as well as performances and winner moments from previous years. And now, last but certainly not least, here is one of Canada's most accomplished electronic artists. This is Caribou.
Shortlisted for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, Suddenly by Caribou. Dan Snaith is Caribou. He's also probably Canada's most popular mathematician. While earning his doctorate in overconvergent Siegel modular symbols, Snaith was finding success producing music under the name Manitoba, until being threatened with a copyright lawsuit by Richard Handsome Dick Manitoba. Snaith rebranded as Caribou and has been a stalwart of Canadian electronic music ever since. In 2008, his album Andorra won the Polaris Music Prize, and both his 2010 album Swim and 2015 album Our Love were shortlisted for Polaris and won the Juno for the Electronic Album of the Year. Caribou albums are typically as complex as Snaith's work in mathematics, but he has been simplifying the equations. Suddenly prioritizes emotional complexity over the intricate time signatures of Snaith's early work. The result is an album that rewards a thoughtful ear, as well as remaining accessible on first listen. Why does Caribou deserve to win? From the Polaris jury, Brian Foteau says, Suddenly sounds simultaneously fresh and timeless, a combination that could very well propel it to all-timer status. While grounded in core elements of electronic dance music, it's not tethered to any one sound.
My album Andorra won the Polaris Prize in 2008, and it was overwhelming, you know, and obviously it helped spread the word about my music, which has been wonderful and has continued. It wasn't just something that happened and it was a blip. But for me, the biggest change actually was in my own kind of conception of myself. I always saw myself as a kind of outsider, making music on the fringes, and it made me kind of reconsider that about myself. Thinking winning a national prize like that, I couldn't really make that argument anymore that I was, some scrappy guy. It made me start to think more about making music that still satisfies the things that I want it to and is for the reasons that I do it for, but can it reach a broader audience or can it speak to more people, given that it was recognized in that way? So it kind of changed my perception of the music that I make.
Polaris presents Suddenly by Isabella Salas and Mark O'Farrell. Isabella and Mark are co-founders of Robot Jaguar Studio, which specializes in multi-sensory experiences using experimental technology. Suddenly's mesmerizing visuals are created by training a data set of 64,000 overlapping images of exotic flowers, coral reefs, and graphic patterns to react to the pitch and rhythm of Caribou's music. The result is both unearthly and deeply organic. Here is Suddenly.
You'd left it in the past, but now it's here to last.
stunning, stunning colors. That was like being in an amazing electric crystal cave. Absolutely beautiful. What an incredible list of albums, a sensational slate of films. We would like to say a very special thank you to all of the filmmakers who helped make tonight's show, and that includes our very own crew. And this has not been an easy year to do anything, let alone create a collaborative collection of work while, most importantly, remaining safe. And there were many, many hurdles for you to overcome, and we are so grateful to celebrate this year in Canadian music with you. And finally, thank you to everyone watching from home. Your continued support of the arts in Canada is vital and appreciated now more than ever. And now, here we are. This is the moment that we have been waiting for. Before we announce the winner of the 2020 Polaris Music Prize, let's take one last look at the nominees. God Has Nothing to Do with It, Leave Him Out of It by Backxwash. Suddenly by Caribou. Studio Monk by Junia-T. Bubba by Kaytranada. Nippy by Nêhiyawak. Pantayo by Pantayo. Miss Colombia by Lido Pimienta. Before Love Came to Kill Us by Jessie Reyez. Heavy Light by US Girls. And DNA Activation by Witch Prophet. And there you have it. That is the 2020 Polaris Music Prize Short List. And don't forget to cast your vote for the Slate Family Polaris Heritage Prize after the show at polarismusicprize.ca/heritage-prize. Now, joining me at the Caribou to announce the winner of the 2020 Polaris Music Prize for the Canadian Album of the Year, here is last year's winner for the album 13th Floor, Havaya Mighty. It is amazing to have you here. Hi.
Hello.
I remember you when you had your moment on this stage 1 year ago. Your name was announced and you rocket launched across the stage into Jeremy Dutcher's arms. Yes. What a year you've had. What has it been like since you won this prize?
Absolutely incredible. I remember the bright lights like it was yesterday, and just the opportunity to be so validated in the work that I created last year, and the opportunity to, post-winning the award, just perform and just get many, many opportunities based on the fact that I won the Polaris.
And we're still seeing so much of your work in this moment. You've managed to connect digitally with people. You've been performing, making music.
Yeah, just trying to maintain the investment.
Well, let's see who gets to have that kind of validation this year. I think everyone has just waited long enough. Let's announce this year's winner.
Let's do it. Nervous. I'm shaking.
Yeah, I'm nervous too.
Okay. Oh, wow. And the winner for the 2020 Polaris Music Prize for God Has Nothing to Do with This, Leave Him Out of It, Backxwash.
We did it! Yo! Oh my God! Oh shit! Oh my God! Oh my God! Yo!
Yes!
Holy shit! What the? Oh!
That is so wonderful. Congratulations!
Oh my God! I don't know what to say.
Well, I think this is an absolutely unprecedented moment. Well, you have a moment just to say anything you want to. Is there someone that you would like to thank?
I would like to thank everybody that worked on the project, David Mikalian and Adam Rook from Black Dresses, which are the greatest band to ever live in the entire existence of the earth. I'd like to thank Father Fake. I'd like to thank Skin. I'd like to thank Mo Date. I'd like to thank Will Owen Bennett for being the best engineer in Montreal. And I'd like to thank, Mechant Vaporwave Chachi for being the greatest designer on the whole wide earth. And I'd like to thank all the queers that listen to me on Twitter. Thank you.
I can hear how excited you are. This is so wonderful.
Yeah.
I really want to ask you a few questions since we have you here. This album is fiercely political. It is deeply personal. We get so close to you listening to this music. Where did you find the bravery to put so much of yourself into this album?
I think all my music was missing was a personal story. And, I was afraid to kind of put that on the record.
And, you know, I just pulled the lever and I kind of just put that on the record and express myself as honestly as possible. Because I think the most important thing is to make the music that you want to make. And I felt like I was making the music that I wanted to make. And you know, that's how it came out.
The album opens with this awesome loop from Black Sabbath. I mean, like right from the beginning, we're with Ozzy Osbourne, and you've used that in this really percussive way. How did heavy metal inspire you as you were writing the album?
Heavy metal inspired me because it was something that was so taboo growing up because it was always associated with Satanism. So as soon as I grew up and I started, expressing myself and finding out more about myself, I went back to my roots of being a fan of heavy metal, and I just like the feeling and how cathartic, heavy metal is, and it just like inspired a lot of the sonics behind this. And I'm just so grateful it put through.
It's interesting that you mention your own childhood because you included Zambian tribal chants. You included the sounds of sermons from the church where you grew up. When you hear those sounds and those samples, how do you know that's the one, that's the way that I'm going to express myself?
It's all in the feeling. I think some of them take me back. The church sample, the choir sample on Amen, took me back to, my mom taking me to Sunday school and me absolutely hating it and thinking like, a demon was going to be exorcised out of me that day. So it just bring up like a lot of previous feelings and a lot of previous emotions. And, music, I'm not the most technical, musician out there. I can't play an instrument, but I know what feels good. And, the samples just really, really felt good.
This has been such an incredibly important year for Black lives and honoring those Black lives. Black trans artists have been a hugely important part of that. Do you see your music as connected to that conversation?
Absolutely. In my last album, Deviancy, it was extremely political. And you know what? I didn't need to go that route because my existence itself is already political. And, my livelihood is political, and the livelihood of my sisters and my brothers is political. And, we just want our rights, and, we have to go through so many hurdles to do that. And I feel very connected to that struggle.
Well, you've definitely brought so many of your own moments of life into this album, and with so much emotion from these really hot highs to these really deep lows. In your Polaris interview earlier today, you said that awards shows need to do a better job of representing a more diverse range of artists. What would you say to other hopeful artists who haven't seen themselves represented at events like this?
I would say, find people who are believing in what you're doing and just make the music that you want to make. There's a certain expectation from being a queer artist, but you have to step in and say, is this the art that I really want to make? And, if the answer is yes, then make it. That's what I would say.
If somebody has sat down and listened to your album from beginning to end, had that full experience, what is the feeling that you want them to walk away with?
It's kind of like asking the question of what forgiveness is, and it takes you through a journey. And I know somebody's having those same experiences right now. And, at the end, it's kind of, the main point is kind of, what is the definition of forgiveness? Is it forgiving every past transgressions, or, still holding that, element of safety in you? So I think what I would like for them to walk away with is for them to come with me to this journey and kind of answer that question at the end for themselves, or myself.
Well, we're with you so far on this amazing journey. Congratulations again. What an incredible, incredible win.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to everyone at home, thank you so much for watching. I am head to toe with goosebumps. This has been an amazing, amazing night. What a celebration of Canadian art. You can head to cbcmusic.ca/Polaris to see tonight's films and for more Polaris coverage. Have a fantastic night, everyone.